guys, Department of Homeland Security just dropped a huge bombshell report, a summary of the threat to the United States. Now, multiple cities across the nation on high alert, extreme high alert, ever since the US operation that took place about 18 hours ago. You guys know that Donald gave the green light, and the B-2 bombers dropped the bunker busters, and also there was a submarine that fired 30 Tomahawk missiles. And now we are getting this information from the Department of Homeland Security. This is a message to 300 plus million Americans that we need to be prepared spiritually, physically, and mentally. Let's see what's going on here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. The ongoing Persia conflict is causing a heightened threat environment in our beloved sleeping giant country. Low-level cyber strike against U.S. networks by pro-Persian groups, the hackers are likely, and cyber actors affiliated with the Persian Gov may conduct strike against U.S. network. In other words, take your money out right now, because again, the bank could get impacted. It happened in Iran. It happened. ATM machine went down. Everything went down. So it's very important to start preparing right now. Get your stuff ready, just in case lights goes out. Now, again, we talked about this many times, but the movie on Netflix, the movie that was produced by the Obamas, Leaving the World Behind, that's a foreshadowing that could happen to our beloved land. The cyber that hit America. Persia also has a long-standing commitment to target the sleeping giant Gov officials it views as responsible for the, again, I'm going to skip certain names here, of a Persian military commander that was taken out in January of 2020. That was under Donald's first term. Now, the likelihood of violent groups in the homeland independently mobilizing to violence in response to the conflict will likely increase if Persia leadership issued a religious ruling calling for retaliatory lawlessness against targets in our sleeping giant country. Multiple recent homeland strikes have been motivated by, you guys already know, again, what's going on in New York, those groups that's waving their flag, something like that could happen, even a lot worse. And an ongoing Holy Land Persia conflict could contribute to U.S.-based individuals plotting additional strike. All right. But didn't Donald said on his tweet that now that the facility are gone, peace has come to the world? Donald said that, not me, but Donald. And I'm not trying to start anything here. You guys know I support Donald. I like the way he does business, with other country. But when it comes to biblical war, no, I don't agree with the Donald. All right, so again, he said there's going to be peace. This is not it. This is not it. Instead of Department of Homeland Security saying, hey, everybody could sing Kumbaya and this and that, no, they're telling us we need to be prepared, because we could see things hitting the fan within our country because what Donald did, striking Persia facility. All right, so it says here, additional information. The Persian Gov has publicly condemned direct sleeping giant involvement in the biblical war. We should have never gotten involved. Number one, both these hacktivists and Persian Gov affiliated actors routinely target poorly secure sleeping giant networks and internet connected devices for disruptive cyber strike. Number two, the sleeping giant law enforcement has disrupted multiple potentially lethal Persian-backed plots in the US since 2020. During this time frame, the Persian's Gov has also unsuccessfully targeted critics of its regime who are based in the homeland for lethal strike. Number 3. If Persia leadership were to issue a religious ruling calling for retaliatory strike against specific targets in the homeland, the sleeping giant, it could increase the likelihood that a supporter of the Persian regime is inspired to commit an act of lawlessness in the homeland. Number 4. Since the start of the conflict, we have seen media releases by foreign bad organizations, including, I'm gonna skip his name. Let me just spell it. Hamas. And then you have all these other groups too. These are like the ones that, back Iran. All right. So once again, and Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, who, among others, some of which have called for lawlessness against the sleeping giant ISIS and personnel in the Mideast because of the Holy Land strike. Number 5, the biblical war could also motivate lawlessness extremists and hate crime perpetrators seeking to strike targets perceived by the JEWS pro-Holy Land or linked to the sleeping giant Gov or military in the homeland. Sources to stay safe. Now, they do have all these other information here, but you guys get the picture. We're about to see something pretty soon in our beloved sleeping giant land. We're about to see something pretty soon in our beloved sleeping giant land. Major sleeping giant cities go on high alert, including New York City, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, you name it, following down a military strike on Persia. If you guys want to check out that video, follow me on this channel here, guys. We got a new name. We got everything brand new here, guys. The Prepper Watch News. I decided to go with that name, Prepper. You guys know me. Prepare spiritually, physically, and mentally. That is one of my slogans. Watch. I pick watch because I'm considered a watchman. So Prepper Watch News. News is, you guys know, I put out the news. So I picked this very important name. And also I do have another slogan. Prep like Noah. And Noah was the biggest prepper in the Bible. I mean, the man built an ark and got so many animals and stuff like that. But I do believe, yes, Noah was a big prepper, but I believe the biggest one was Jesus when he fed the 5,000. So again, I picked that name, Prepper, and also the watch, again, Watchman, and again, prep like Noah, live like Christ. So if you guys want to subscribe to this channel, the link will be in the comments box. Check it out. All right, let's go back on X really quick here. Give me 1 second. So I want to bring this one up. Look at this. So the sleeping giant announces that the strike against Persia nuclear site were called off. Operation Midnight Hammer. 7. Wow. 7 B-2 bombers. Persia didn't fire a single shot at the sleeping giant as they couldn't see them. You see this part right here? The submarines. They fired the Tomahawk missiles 400 miles away. Wow. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm trying to see if I can find any more information here. So yeah, let's bring this news up. Alright, so Fox News is putting out this information. I want to see what's going on with this news here. Seems like very, very, very good information that's coming out in this one. So this is what Fox News is putting out. A full breakdown of the Operation Midnight Hammer, the largest B-2 operational strike in U.S. history. Operation used advanced deception tactic with over 125 aircraft and first ever deploy of 30,000-pound bunker busters. We again, guys, we warned that something big was coming. I mean, all those planes that were heading east. Remember those planes that were heading east? We knew something was wrong. I mean, sending all those tankers and stuff like that heading towards the Pacific. I mean, the Atlantic Ocean. You knew something was gonna come down. They were not meant for military exercises. I don't know who came out with that one, but man, never seen a military exercise with over 30 tankers, refueling tankers. The Sleeping Giant on Sunday shared details about Operation Midnight Hammer, the massive, complicated mission that struck three key Persian nuclear facilities on Saturday, calling it the largest B-2 operational strike in U.S. history. Zelensky is probably thinking to himself, how come you guys can't help me like you helped Benjamin? So, Secretary of Defense Pete told reporters at the Pentagon that the scope of this was intentionally limited. And his first formal remarks following the strike, though he added that the capability of the American military are nearly unlimited. You have General Dan, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, detailed the operation timeline and the deception tactics employed that went into striking Persia, Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan facility. Now, the Rus decoy flights depart at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time, Saturday. The operation comments when B-2 stealth bomber launched from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri at 12:01 a.m. Saturday morning. Some of the bombers flew to the west and into the Pacific as a decoy. Kane called it a deception effort known only to an extremely small number of planners and key leaders. We had at least, we had some kind of idea that these bombers. And again, remember those planes that was heading east? We knew that something was going to come. It was just a matter of time. And that 2-week stuff, I told you guys, that 2 weeks, it was only for them to send all these military equipments. Main strike, an 18-hour flight. The main strike force of 7 B-2 bombers, each with two crew members, flew silently eastward with minimal communication as it undertook the 18-hour flight to the target area, Kane said. Man. Wow. 7,085 miles. Is that the right number? I guess it's the right number. All right. So the aircraft and the group were refueled multiple times while in flight. When overland, the strike group linked up with escort and support aircraft from Central Command. Kane described the link up as a complex, tightly timed maneuver requiring exact synchronization across multiple platforms in a narrow piece of airspace, all done with minimal communications. Clearly the way, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday. Around 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:30 a.m. in Persia, a U.S. submarine, there you go, we talked about the submarine, a U.S. submarine launched more than 24 Tomahawk land strike cruise missiles against key surface infrastructure targets as the main strike force entered Persia airspace. It's a lot of good information coming out in this one here. A lot of good information. More deception tactics were used, Kane said, and support aircraft pushed out in front of the main strike group at a high altitude and speed to sweep for enemy fighters and surface-to-air missile. Man, they were locked and loaded on this one here. As the B-2 main strike group approached, Fodo and Natanz support aircraft use high-speed suppression equipments to ensure its safe passage. We are currently unaware of any shots fired at the Sleeping Giant strike package on the way in Kane told reporters. The strike, 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday. The Fodo nuclear facility was struck at around 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time, or about 2:10 a.m. in Persia. Yeah, like I said, this was a big operation here. The lead B-2 dropped 2 GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, excuse me, commonly known as the bunker busters, on the first of several aim points for Fodo. Now, the remaining bombers also hit their target with a total of 14 MOPs dropped on Fodo, and Natanz, Kane said. It says here the Tomahawk missile launched by Sleeping Giant submarines were the last to strike, hitting their target at Isfahan. So it does make sense. You know, you hit them with the hardest stuff you got, and once that gap is open, then you fire Tomahawk. We were talking about the rod of God, if that thing was gonna help, but yeah, for some reason, yeah, I don't think the rod of God would have helped on that one. After releasing their equipment in a massive strike, the aircraft exited Persia airspace to return home to Whiteman Air Force Base. Kane said that the Sleeping Giant military was not immediately aware of any shot being fired at the strike group on its way out of Persia airspace. If you kind of think about it, the Sleeping Giant violated a foreign airspace and they struck a foreign land. If you kind of think about it, I mean, again, there's no other way of thinking about it. I mean, they just went into a foreign land. When was the last time we did that? Persia fighters did not fly, and it appears that Persia's surface-to-air missile system did not see us throughout the mission, Kane said. We retained the element of surprise. Operation Midnight Hammer used more than 125 aircraft in the mission, including 7 B-2 bombers, multiple 4th and 5th generation fighter, dozens of air refueling tankers, a guided missile submarine, and a fully array of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance aircraft, Kane said. The question is, how much? So, how much was this operation? Man. Sleeping Giant forces launched approximately 75 precision-guided munition, including 14 BU-57 massive ordnance penetrators, which weighed 30,000 pounds each. Man. The operation marked the first ever operational use of this equipment, Kane said. A history-making operation. Kane called the operation the largest B-2 operational strike in the Sleeping Giant history, and that no other military in the world could have done this. Zelensky right now is calling Donald, can I get some of that B-2 bombers? This mission demonstrated that the unmatched reach, coordination, and capability of the Sleeping Giant military in just a matter of weeks. This went from strategic planning to global execution. Kane also said that this was the second longest B-2 mission ever flown, exceeded only by mission flown in the days following September 11th. And that's the end of it. Wow. So, out of all that operation, today, June 22nd, Department of Homeland Security is sounding the alarm. Again, U.S. city across the nation on high alert. We could see sleepers. We could see something. We could see cyber. All I gotta say is prepare yourself spiritually, physically, and mentally. And the Strait of Hormuz, yeah, they're gonna be closing that thing down. Marco Rubio is telling the Red Dragon China to tell Persia not to mess with the Strait of Hormuz. And look out, oil prices is gonna hit the roof. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please share the video. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Once again, guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ. For he's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.